Pop culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on the Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Oh, I do not know why it muted all of a sudden, but good morning, y'all. Today I'm trying something new, which is that my streaming platform just released this new feature where you can stream simultaneously, like portrait mode horizontally and vertically as well. So for those of you who are watching on your vertical phones, you're watching me vertically, and those of you on your screens, like your bigger screens, computers, TV, whatever, you get the full portrait mode, which I think is super duper cool to be able to do both at the same time. Anyway, y'all, I really want to tell you about how my Thanksgiving went. Y'all, do you remember? I was telling you guys last week, and you guys were really helpful to me as well about my Thanksgiving celebration. But it turned out so good, y'all. It was absolutely perfect. It could not have been any better if it tried, truly. Like, this Thanksgiving dinner was incredible. So we started off with a butternut squash soup for our entree. Actually, no, yeah, it was a soup and salad entree. So butternut squash soup with some cream, and we had some seeds on top of it. It was really, really good. I'm going to share the photos on my Instagram. And then we also had a salad, which consisted of regular lettuce, but it also had dried cranberry. We had chopped up pecan, and then we had like a homemade vinaigrette. It was sweet, it was savory all at the same time, super duper good. Then we got into the main course, which was the chicken. We couldn't procure a turkey in time because we're celebrating, way after Canadian Thanksgiving and way before American Thanksgiving, right? So it wasn't possible. So we went to the butcher together. We asked for a big juicy chicken, and we got our big juicy chicken, but we were in for the shock of our lives when the butcher picked it up, because all we saw was like the body of it, right? So we're like, oh, this is perfect. We want this one. We'll take two, because we were, on était nombreux. We were numerous people. And so he picks it up, and the head that had been like hiding under the body lifts up, and we're like, chop that head off, get rid of it. Yuck. So we had that. We had gravy, we had mashed potatoes, we had green beans. We had, what else did we have? Cranberry sauce. And then for dinner, we had apple crumble and vanilla ice cream. It was absolutely delicious, y'all. At the end of it, I was in so much pain because I ate too much. I was like, no, I'm only going to be able to eat this like once a year. Let me eat. It was so good. It really truly felt like old times, like a true Canadian, like Thanksgiving. So I was really happy to be able to share that with my friends. And my friends, they dressed up like not stereotypical Canadian, but like, how like Canadians, like, we're kind of known for loving like flannel, like the red and black kind of flannel shirts, or like the green and black and this type of thing. So they dressed up like that. And they did this tablescape where when they went for their afternoon walk, they picked up these like maple leaves, and then they wrote our names on the maple leaves and stuff like that. Like, it was so beautiful. It was absolutely perfect. Honestly, I feel so lucky. I have the best friends ever. Anyway, what about you guys? How was your weekend? I hope you guys had a really, really good weekend. And I know that you guys' Thanksgiving is coming up too. So I really hope that, you guys have some really cool things planned for your Thanksgiving as well. So let's see who we've got joining us here. We've got P, who just signed up as a member. P, hopefully you're enjoying the content that's over there. So just a couple days ago, just before the weekend, I think it was on Friday, I had posted another chapter from reading the Ashley Reality Roundup kind of gossip manual on what's really going on behind the scenes in the teen mom world, sharing some opinions on that. And actually, just before shooting live now with you guys, hello, I did also record another chapter from the Ashley's book that is coming up for my channel members right after this live as well. So hopefully you get to enjoy that also. Good morning to you, by the way, P. Good morning, Gala. Good morning, Two Snaps as well. And good morning, L. And you know what's so cool about this stream? I don't know if you guys can see it, but for me over here, it tells me who's watching me portrait mode and who's watching me on vertical. So for example, L is watching me on vertical, P is watching me portrait and vertical. Two Snaps got me on vertical. Ray got me on vertical. So nice to be able to see all this like kind of, insight onto you guys. So nice to have you back, by the way, Al. We've missed you. Good morning, Jess. Good morning, Ray. So nice to see you. Good morning, Venetia. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Kahara as well. Latasha, Michelle, Jamie, Melissa. Buenos dias. Good morning, Amelia. So nice to see. Oh, this is your favorite color for purple, Jazz. I love that. It's a really beautiful color, very underrated. Good morning, Deshauna. Good morning, Melissa, Terry, Kalia. So nice to see y'all. And I'm so happy, that I got you guys' tips on some food to present to my friends for Thanksgiving. They had a really, really good time. They were so happy to finally be able to have like a true, authentic Thanksgiving feast. And it was definitely an unforgettable occasion. So it's really cool to be able to share those sorts of things with your friends, Friendship. Oh, yes. And I'm sorry for making y'all hungry. Listen, it was so good. I don't even know what more to say. It was so damn good. I had to be practically rolled to the car by the end of the night. You saw some Thanksgiving salad. I'm happy y'all had some poultry, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, and some leftovers too. And you know what else? We had stuffing. We had stuffing, which is like my favorite part. Y'all, it makes me want to go back and do it all over again. Like this evening, I am telling you, it was absolutely freaking delicious, right? And thank you, Terry. And I'm so lucky to have them too. It was my friends who wanted to host it at their apartment because they love cooking so much more than me anyway. And they have like a pro oven and whatnot. And then they just decorated it in such a stunning, stunning way. I really can't wait to show you guys those photos. Like absolutely beautiful. And this is true at East Austin. This is another stereotypical kind of Canadian look, right? Denim on denim, the Canadian tuxedo. Like we really showed up and showed out, right? And it was a really, really, really good time. And yes, Kali, I would love to see pictures of you guys' plates when your Thanksgiving comes around as well. Listen, I love all things Thanksgiving. I gotta say, it's one of my favorite holidays, and I think it's mainly for the food. And I'm so glad you're back, by the way. Al, welcome back, and good morning, Gwen. Claranda, I see you watching me vertical, boo. Isn't that so cool? So nice to see you, boo. And good morning, Shar, as well. So nice to see you all settle for coffee and muffin. Speaking of, I am, one of my like little missions, I keep forgetting to do it is, but I'm trying to make like carrot muffins, and then put them in the freezer so I can pop them out whenever, I have something, just so to have something to like snack on. I'm also trying to make banana muffins, oatmeal muffins, and I want to freeze my bacon, egg, and cheeses. I made a bacon, egg, and cheese for my brunch today, and I want to start freezing them. Anyway, y'all listen. Today's episode of the Morning Report is going to be centered around the Real Housewives of Potomac, y'all. That episode was so good that I feel like that's mainly what it is that I want to discuss with you guys, because there's a lot to say. This is the first time since the Real Housewives of Atlanta, I want to say season 7, maybe 8 or something like that, that I have seen the housewives collectively decide to hand another housewife or another woman on the show vying to be a housewife their pink slip. Because that's what happened with Angel. Angel was so insufferable that the girls just were not into it. And by the end of the episode, they wanted her gone. Did you guys notice that? They're like, listen, and Wendy had been hinting at this for 2 episodes now. She's been saying, we're not responsible for coddling people, these sensitive girls who just want to sit around, mope, and cry. She was talking about Kiarna. She was talking about Angel. She clocked them from the very, very, very beginning. And the girls, like at that point, they just weren't seeing it the same way yet. But now here we are, 3rd time that Angel comes along with her mopey personality, just whining to the point where she has sucked all the energy out of the room and she's decided to walk away. And she's telling people, okay, enjoy the rest of your party. I'm just going to go away. Girl, you killed the party. There is no party anymore. So what do you mean, enjoy the rest of the party? All right. So we're going to get into all of that in today's episode of the show. By the way, as always, whenever we do recaps of a television show, I do love to ask y'all to rate the episode on a scale from 1 to 10. Now, with that being said, how would you rate last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac on a scale from 1 to 10? I personally would rate it a solid, I want to go for like an 8, maybe even an 8.5. I really did think that it was a good episode, you guys. I really did enjoy the episode. We got to see a different side to some of the ladies, and then we got some other things that were validated about the ladies as well, right? So it was really cool to be able to see all of that happen in one episode. For example, y'all know I am a day one Giselle hater. I really cannot stand Giselle. But in this episode, I actually really kind of felt for her, when she was explaining to Kiarna why she wasn't rushing to be by her side or to check on her after she got whooped in the head with a glass or whatever, right? Her father was dying and she was explaining it very, very clearly. And I very much felt for her because it was absolutely reasonable, in my opinion. I love that, 2 snaps. For her to prioritize spending as much time as she can, the final few days, minutes, hours, seconds with her dying father, than it was for her to be checking on a girl who decided to jump into a fight that she had nothing to do with, and suffer the consequences of that. Should Sesame Street have whipped Kiarna over the head with a glass? No, but at the same time, Kiarna had no business jumping into that fight. It had nothing to do with her anyway, right? Hey, Jaleesa, nice to see you, boo. Nice to see you too, Thea. Thea's watching on Vertical. I clocked your team. Y'all are not feeling her either. Listen, the girls dismissed her so bad yesterday. At the end of it, I'd be surprised if we continue to see her. I don't even know how she secured a flute, to be honest with you guys. She is so miserable. I get the excitement though, because I do have to admit that I personally was extremely, extremely excited when I heard that Angel was going to be joining the show. I said, finally, a true, real, authentic housewife with money. The Housewives of Potomac for a long time have been a bunch of single ladies who don't even have money, right? On a budget. So to have somebody like Angel who's talking about, oh, my husband said, drop $5,000 gambling on horses or buying souvenirs or whatever. Yeah, like, listen, on Beverly Hills, that's nothing. But on Potomac, that's everything, So I was really happy about that. Really excited about that. But she is just such an energy vampire. A lot of people are claiming it's like a postpartum, and maybe it is. I don't know personally, but I just have to say that I'm really disappointed in her as an addition. She's just so, she's draining. She's giving Eeyore to me. She really, really is. Anyway, let's get into you guys' ratings as we jump into the recap. Okay, so Theo gave the episode a 7 out of 10. 2 Snaps says Angel's insufferable. Shar says she whines about nothing. She really does. I don't know why she brought that to the camera. Cara says, I think Jazzy handled the Angel information very classily, especially on the show. And I agree. It's kind of like when Candace went to Ashley privately to tell her about her creepy husband creeping on women again, right? She went to her privately. Granted, there were cameras, there were mics involved, but she did go to Ashley privately versus bringing it up in front of a group. Right. And it was right when she got the information. It wasn't like Giselle sitting on information, claiming to be your friend, and then waiting months for the cameras to come up to bring it to your attention. So Shar gives the episode a 7. Kahara gives it a 9. 2 Snaps didn't get to watch it. Yeah, I think you're going to enjoy it, 2 Snaps. It's a really, really good episode. Shar says a 7 due to Stacey. Listen, we love us some Stacey, don't we? I think Stacey is so far the fan fave on that show. She really is. Just a breath of fresh air. She's just such a burst of light. She really, really is. East Austin says 9. Wow. So you guys are rating it really high. I think 7 is the lowest so far. So I think that we can collectively say that it was a pretty damn good episode. East Austin says 9. Kiarna's love life is a chop. Yup. She's dredging up old BS to distract from the fact that she's not engaged and there's no new home. Last year, she stated she was building a home. Pepperidge Farm remembers. What is it? Gooped and gagged indeed. And it's true, right? Listen, Kiarna is such a beautiful woman. She really is. I can't believe that this is what she's settling for, I should say. And like from this guy in particular, like, I don't get it. Listen, Jazzy is settling for this nonsense from her guy, but her guy is, what is he? He's like a multimillionaire football player. So for her, it's the money, it's the prestige, whatever that comes above like respect and all these things. but for Kiarna, why is she doing it exactly? Like, what does she get out of it? I really could not even tell you. Anyway, let's get into our recap, y'all. So again, I was quite surprised by the fact that I was actually feeling Giselle this episode, y'all. Like when they were all sitting there at the dinner table, right? And so she is handing out these shot glasses with descriptions of people, like, you know, words, names, whatever, that come to her when she thinks of these people. So she gives Jazzy a shot glass that says stepmama. She did that to be messy because don't forget, Jazzy's fiance has babies behind her back, you know, break babies, in a relationship babies, whatever you want to call them. She is having those babies. He's having those babies with other women outside of Jazzy. And so for Giselle to call that out in her typical nice, nasty way, sorry, but that was kind of hilarious, right? And I think that this kind of paved the way for the way that we would see Jazzy overreacting to a joke from Tia, right? I think it's because, you know, even though she laughed off this shot glass thing, she knows deep down that her relationship, engagement, marriage, whatever, is a bit of a joke. I'm sorry, it kind of is, right? And so it kind of triggers her in a way, right? And then Giselle also gave everybody else shots with different words on them. Some of them were funny and whatnot. Some of them were kind of unremarkable. I even forgot. There was one that she gave to Stacey, and per usual, it was blank. She's keeping up with the whole, I don't know you, so everything I'm going to give you is blank. From the bathrobe to your cosmetic bag and now to a shot glass. I'm over it at this point. Like, sorry, Giselle, you're never going to make us hate Stacey. We love our girl and we're riding for our girl. Like, come up with something new, right? And then she ultimately wound up giving a shot glass to Kiarna as well. And Kiarna's shot glass said, Giselle hater, right? And so they get into this discussion or argument about why it is that Kiarna does not really care for Giselle. And that's when it comes up that Kiarna felt like Giselle could have done a lot more to support her when she got slashed in the face with a glass, right? And we're going to get into that topic when they get onto the boat later on. But, you know, they cut to Wendy, who's the one who stirred this pot, and she's just sleeping, lying around in bed. I gotta say, she looked really, it was giving Sleeping Beauty, you guys. I love this color palette on her. I never would have imagined this being such a beautiful color for her because I feel like I'm a similar skin tone to Wendy, and I personally would not wear these kinds of colors, but maybe our undertones are different or something because on her, she must have golden undertones. They looked absolutely beautiful. I love the makeup. I love this kind of like golden sandy brown color on her. She looked really, really good. Look at all that medication. She's got NyQuil. She's got Gatorade. She's got everything trying to feel better. Like, I can't imagine how terrible it would be to be on such a beautiful vacation, right? On a tropical island, and you were just sick as a dog, lying around in bed. I think she had her makeup done, like hoping that she would have the energy. Like, doesn't that happen to you guys? Sometimes you really want to go and do something, go somewhere. You get your makeup done. You think that's going to help you. You know, maybe you put, what do you call this? Like the vapor, you put on some Vicks, or maybe you stick your head in a pot with like the steam to open up your airways and everything, and nothing works and you still feel like hell. I feel like that's what happened with Wendy. You know, she didn't have her makeup on for no reason. I think that she really was trying to get herself, or thought that she would be in a place where she would be able to actually go to this party. And unfortunately, that just did not turn out to be the case at all, right? So let me get into some of your comments before we go a little bit further. And I agree, Theo, it's boring. It's played out. Like, Giselle, we get it. You're a mean girl, but let's come up with something new, you know? Like, I'm sure that there are other sides of you that are interesting and, you know, that are worth discovering besides just like this mean girl side, right? Like, it's played out. Two Snap says, I really like Jazzy too. Me too. Listen, she was so dramatic at that dinner table when it came to the jokes that Tia was making about like that guy really liking her or whatever. But overall, she has an energy that I really do like. I find her energy to be so bubbly. I find it to be so contagious. I find her to be generally so happy and like fun and dynamic, as I like to say, you know what I mean? So, you know, I like her overall. Shar, I can't stand her, y'all. I can't. I'm sorry, but listen, I love that you love her. She needs all the fans she can get, especially the way that she's been coming after Stacey. I think that, you know, it's just not going over too well with the fans. Her and Ashley, they're giving obsessed, and it's so strange. Stacey has done nothing to warrant the amount of vitriol that those girls particularly, you know, have towards her. Just says, why does everyone named Angel act the opposite of their names meaning? You know what? Listen, Do y'all know other angels that aren't so angelic? I only knew one in my life, and I'm not going to tell y'all how she wound up, but there is truth to that. But I only know literally one angel. This one I just met. And, I'm sure there are millions, if not billions of them. So I can't speak too much to the correlation between that name and people's personalities. East Awesome says this season of Potomac is one of the best it's had. Each episode has had laughs and hilarious moments. Angel is not built for the show, but she could be a friend of the show. Listen, I do agree that she could have a place as a friend rather than a housewife. It might be way too much pressure for her, right? And I think it is cool when you're able to introduce people and then kind of find a place for them rather than getting rid of them altogether, because it makes the idea that this is a friend group all the more believable, right? Which is something that we need, because for too long, it's been too obvious that these girls truly can't stand each other, right? Theo says money can't buy you a personality. Angel is a prime example. Damn, and it's true. Our girl is so miserable. And I don't know why. She says her marriage is great. She says she's happy, with her home life, her kids, everything like that. So why are you so miserable? Like, is this, because sometimes when people come onto these shows, they feel like they need to bring drama. So maybe like her version of bringing drama is to really like hang on to like kind of like low hanging, kind of miserable things, or to play mad or something. I don't know. Like, does she kind of misunderstand the assignment? Maybe that's what it is. Good morning, Summer Breeze. How was your weekend, boo? He says, if not for Angel Massey, this episode would have been rated higher. She brought it down. And I agree. Jazzy did her a huge favor, yet we had a meltdown. And I absolutely agree. Again, I had such high hopes, such high hopes for Angel, and unfortunately she's been letting me down. I'm kind of worried that like maybe there's something really secretly going on with her that she's not being open about, and that is going to be exposed either this season or in the future. She continues to do reality television, so I hope she treads lightly, or maybe she just gets out of the reality TV boat altogether. And two snaps, you're right, boo. It just got confirmed that Cardi B's baby daddy also had that kid with that other lady a couple months ago. He got them both pregnant at the same time. And there's another woman who's claiming to be pregnant with his child. And guess what, y'all? I do believe that it's going to turn out to be his child when the paternity test results come back. So, yikes. Gwen says, okay, I'm here for real now. Yes, I'm glad you're out of the bushes, boo. My kids finished school early and I had to look over their work so they could play Minecraft. Oh, so cute. So cute. East Awesome says Stacy and Tia. And by the way, Tia does a really good job of not taking things too seriously. Sometimes people will come for her really hardcore, but she'll laugh it off and keep it moving. And I really love that. And she'll apologize. She has no fear when it comes to apologizing. And I think that that is an incredibly, incredibly important quality, not only as a housewife, but as a person in general, right? East Awesome says Stacey and Tia are the future of Potomac. I agree. Perfectly casted grand dame types. And you know what? Speaking of, I miss my girl. Listen. Y'all know I do not support the DUIs, especially not 4, 5, 6 of them. But I miss her. You could really feel the lack of her presence on the show. She's very much needed on the Housewives of Potomac. Honestly, I'd keep Angel over Kiana. Hell yeah, Kiana's not doing it for me either. But only as a friend of the show that doesn't go on trips. I could see that. Morgan, you're back. Nice to see you again. Hope you had a great weekend. Shantae says, that happened to me. Oh, Shantae, you were giving Kiana before, and that's a compliment. Before LOL caught strep the day we left for my best friend's birthday cruise, and strep is brutal. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Oh, strep is brutal. It was literally miserable 4 or 5 days we were there. I was so upset. Oh, and these vacays are expensive on top of that, right? Oh Lord. Good morning, Acacia. Hope you had a great weekend. Hey, Elizabeth. Elizabeth says Jazzy was a chai chick turned to the main chick. Exactly. And she knows that her old position is open, and that is why she's currently on edge. Now, remember how I told you guys that like Ashley and Giselle seem to have some sort of an obsession with Stacey. So you're going to see them come for her on 2 occasions in this episode. So there was that one occasion where the producer cams, or like the camera people, go home for the day, right? But like there are still mounted cameras up. And I guess Stacey must have forgotten that, because she was having what she thought was a private conversation with Ashley about her dating life and whatnot, right? And in that conversation, she tells Ashley that yes, she and her husband during their separation dated other people. And she does admit that one of the people that she went out on a date with was indeed Chris Samuels, who's married to Monique Samuels. And this goes in line with what the girls say about about Stacey being a bit of a liar. But we're Stacey apologists. We don't care if she lies. Ashley lies. Giselle sure as hell lies. So if she lies about these things to stay out of, certain controversies or whatnot, who cares? That's our girl. We're going to stick beside her, right? So they do get her to admit to it. And this does, again, show us, right? And it is something that we as Stacey fans do have to acknowledge. She's been caught several times lying, right? She's not the most truthful person in the planet. But listen, who among us is perfect? Let he who is out without sin cast the first stone, right? And I'm only saying that because it's Stacey. Listen, I admit I'm a hypocrite. If it were someone else, I'd be coming for them. But they can never make me hate Stacey. So she admits that she did indeed go on a date with Chris Samuels, but she is vehemently denying the fact that she slept with him. But at this point, Stacey has lied so much that I don't even know that's true. She might have popped that thing, once or twice for Chris Samuels. Can I ask you guys, do you think that she might have slept with Chris Samuels? Because we got to be honest. Trace, what are her fans called, by the way? The Halitosis? I'm joking. What are her fans called? Because I want to know what we're supposed to be called. Do we believe that Stacey has never actually slept with Chris Samuels? Because I got to be honest with you guys. At this point, I really do not know what to believe when it comes to her, because she's been caught lying so many times. Liz says, I need Bravo to make Jazzy a housewife. Same here. Listen, I actually would love for her to be a housewife. I need for her to take Angel's flute and call it a day. And maybe even Ashley could. Do you think Ashley has redeemed herself this season? I don't know, last season and the season before, a lot of us were saying she needs to go, but listen, as annoying as she is, she does help to move these things along, and she is a face of the franchise. So it would be hard for her to go, especially, with the Grand Dame situation. It was nice for her to stay, unfortunately. Right. Tia really is that girl. I love that she really doesn't take everything too personally, unlike Angel and unlike Kiarna. She's a much better housewife than those two ladies. She's so mature. I really love her. Hey, Jenna, how are you? I love your dog. So, so, so cute. Two Snap says you have to lie a little. Exactly. You cannot let these people know all of your business. They're not asking you with the intention of being your friends or, with good intentions at all. These are nefarious characters, right? When you're trying to build real, genuine, authentic friendships, yeah, you're honest. But with these people, come on now. No. Shante says, lol, not Kiarna. I mean, I'm from Baltimore too, like she is, but I'm not insufferable like she currently is. But you are a baddie like Kiarna. I'm telling you, y'all could be twins. Absolutely twins. You have the same hair and everything. Hey, Gail, nice to see you as well. Happy, happy, happy Monday to you. Hope everything is going well. Kalia says probably that Stacey slept with Chris Samuels. Shantae says Stacey gives vanilla. You know what? I feel like those people are kind of like the low-key freaky ones. She's giving vanilla on purpose, but behind the scenes, she's probably wax candles, all the other, crazy stuff that you can imagine that, people are up to in their in their freaky private lives. Kalia says, I don't even watch the show, but Kevin Samuels, isn't he a dog? Wait, Kevin Samuels, didn't he die? Laying it low and spreading it wide. Kevin Samuels, he's dead. Isn't that guy who gives incel dating tips or something like that? Kevin Samuels. I'm trying to think. Oh, you're talking about Chris. I don't know if Chris gets around like that. That's a good question. Good question, East Awesome. I don't think she has a particular storyline, but I think that she helps to move things along and to stir the pot, unfortunately. Good luck with your stitches, Gail. I hope everything goes well. Congratulations on getting them out. Good morning, Babs. Nice to see you. Happy Monday. Latasha says she doubts it. She does not think that Stacey actually wound up sleeping with Chris Samuels. Listen, with Stacey, it's so hard to tell what's real and what's fake. Just saying. So like I said earlier, Giselle had handed Kiarna, at the top of the episode, a shot glass that said Giselle hate her, and she confronted her for talking crap about her to Wendy, right? And so the next day when the girlies get out on the quote-unquote yacht, some people are saying it wasn't a yacht. Can I ask you guys, were these girls on a yacht, in your opinion, or were they just on a big boat? To me, they were on a yacht, but some people are saying no. So anyway, they're on that big boat or that yacht. And Giselle decides to talk to Kiarna again about her being a Giselle hater. And Kiarna explains that she felt like Giselle should have been there for her when she got, popped in the head with a glass. And Giselle explains the situation. Girl, the day after that fashion show where you got slashed in the face with your glass, literally either the day after or the same night, I was off to the hospital to see my father, who was in the early stages of dying. Like, I had no time for whatever this drama was. And to me personally, if I were beefing with Giselle, I would have taken this opportunity to say, you know what? Okay, like, my stuff is petty. It's small potatoes compared to what you were going through. I'm sorry. Like, I was just so traumatized or so devastated by what happened to me that I wasn't even thinking about what was going on in your life and why maybe you didn't reach out. To me, this is a valid excuse. I don't know about you guys. Y'all let me know what you think. But I really do think that Giselle had a valid excuse for not reaching out to Kiarna. Dying father, slash in the face because you jumped into a fight that had nothing to do with you. Come on now. Come on. It's sad what happened to Kiarna. But I don't know why she even jumped into that fight. Just saying, right? Kahara says it was giving catamaran. Oh my God. Ouch. It was giving catamaran, not yacht. I am screaming because in my head, I really thought it was a yacht. I'm like, listen, I guess I had to step my paper up because I really thought this catamaran was a yacht. Damn, Housewives of Potomac, they really are down bad, aren't they? The Housewives of Beverly Hills would never. Oh my God, Lord have mercy. So, by the way, during this discussion with Kiarna, Giselle, who's right, who's wrong in their, sort of dispute with one another, you've got Wendy jumping in. Just very much like sucking up to Giselle, really trying to like stir the pot. And I'm like, Wendy, sis, Giselle does not like you. She tried to break up your marriage, like just like, why even jump in? I don't understand why these girls are always so desperate to get in good with Giselle. Giselle, she doesn't like any of them. She genuinely does not like them. She's willing to do whatever it takes, like destroy whatever family she can, just to have another season of the show. So when these girls turn around and they act like it's this mean girls clique and they got to suck up to her and whatnot, I just truly do not understand it. Like, what a short memory you have to go from cursing out Giselle, telling her that her being cheated on and her being alone and miserable and everything is her karma for just all the evil things that she's done, to now being next to her, ganging up on another girl and whatnot. Like, it was just, Wendy, y'all know, listen, I'm a Wendy apologist, right? But that kind of had me feeling like a little bit embarrassed for her, to be honest with you. Just saying. By the way, y'all, does Jazzy not have real friends? Because when they have their lunch on this boat, again, because Ashley and Giselle are super duper obsessed with Stacey, right? They keep on going for her and going for her and going for her. They're talking about Jazzy's wedding. And then out of nowhere, you've got Giselle setting up the next ambush on Stacey. She's like, oh, like, Stacey, are you still going to Jazzy's wedding? What's it to you? You don't even like Stacey. What do you care, right? And then you've got Ashley being like, yeah, are you going because weren't you invited to be a bridesmaid and like you refused it or whatever? Like, they're trying to make her look like this terrible person, but there are so many reasons to refuse being a bridesmaid. Listen, I am a maid of honor for my friend's wedding, but it's because she's my bestie. Like, if some random person that I'm not close to asked me to be a bridesmaid or anything for her wedding, the answer would be no. I'll come to your wedding, but I'm not participating because we're not close like that. And it's a big commitment. It takes a lot of time, you know what I mean? And money to be one of these parts of somebody's wedding. So to me, already, I find it weird on Jasmine's part that she would even ask Stacey to be her bridesmaid, and she doesn't really know Stacey like that. But then you have Ashley and Giselle trying to make it look like Stacey's fake for declining that. To me, if anything, Stacey's a real one for saying, listen, I'll come to your wedding, but I'm not standing up there as a bridesmaid. I don't know you like that, So Stacey comes up with these excuses. So first she said it was a family issue. Then she said it was a weed business issue. I think she's trying to save face for Jazzy, or to be polite to Jazzy, instead of saying, listen, I don't know her like that. Maybe she just invited me because we're part of the same show or something like that, right? Because to me, that's what it's coming off as, that Jazzy really wants to be a housewife. And listen, y'all know, I really do hope that she becomes a housewife, right? But that's what it's giving. It's let me, act like I'm closer. And that's something I really, truly cannot stand in people. I really do not like when people act like we're closer than we are. Like there's levels to this. There's levels to this. We all have our besties. Then we've got our close friends. Then we got our friends. Then we got our acquaintances. And then, other people. So when somebody who's an other person or an acquaintance is acting like your besties or your close friends, it's weird. The energy just feels really weird and forced and fake, And so that's what I'm sensing here. But again, Giselle and Ashley want to set it up as if Stacey's the fake one in this situation. And I truly just do not get it at all, at all, at all. But I digress. And thanks, Brandon. Listen, they just launched this new format over here on StreamYard, and I am loving it. It's so cool and so exciting to be able to stream horizontally and vertically at the same time. And unfortunately, 2Snaps, I agree, especially now that Karen is not on the show. I really do hope we get to see her ASAP, because I cannot stand Giselle being the top dog for too long. Star says, oh no. Well, I think it's because you're watching on vertical. If you watch on the what do you call this? The landscape, it should still function normally, but vertically, it's almost as if it were alive. And then you have to wait until the end to join the playback posse. But how are you doing, Star? It's been a while. I miss you, girl. Fill us up. Catch us up. What's been going on with you? Hope everything is going well. Now, also, again, listen, I like Jazzy, but with her, I could tell y'all when she's acting up. So, when she was doing the whole, oh my God, Tia, how could you do this to me? 14 days before my wedding, you made a joke that a man found me attractive. Blah, 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 blah. Girl, shut up. I think she knows that her man is always, looking around, ready to have her replacement out there. And so that is why she just feels so on edge about those kinds of jokes, because to her man, those are not jokes. Like, he really is. If a girl looks at him, sneezes in his direction or whatever, he's going to be pouncing on that. So, and I feel like maybe there's a certain sense of embarrassment that that's what she's settling for the sake of money or status or whatever. And that's why she acted out. Or maybe she just wanted a moment, right? This was her opportunity to catch the scene and all that stuff. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think it is. Cara says, I think Jazzy handled the angel information very classy. And yes, at the end, she really did a good job of handling that when they thought was off camera without the microphones and everything like that. Again, I do like Jazzy. I would love to see her with a flute, but I get scared because, there are some people that you like so much, even Kiarna, even remember Mia's like frenemy, Jacqueline, like we wanted her to have a flute too. And look what happened when she like became an official friend of and stuff. She kind of flopped. Like, I think some people are better in these small doses, and maybe, just maybe, Jazzy happens to be one of those people. It might ruin the magic if she gets a flute. What do you guys think? Like I said earlier, Tia is absolutely incredible at handling confrontation. She's like, girl, it's not that serious, but okay, if you need it, I am going to go ahead and give you that apology. And so, I think that was appreciated by Jasmine, but most of all, it was appreciated by us, the audience. We really don't like when things are forced, dramas and confrontations and whatnot. It's very much like lame. You know what I mean? So it's nice whenever housewives are so secure in themselves and their storylines that they don't need to like force drama when they can just apologize and move on. Right. So next we get to like the slutty night parties and whatnot. Let me see if I've got these pictures properly loaded. Yes, I do. Okay. So this is a picture of Tia, by the way. Another thing I have to say about Tia is I really love the hair that she does. She's got these beautiful, like kind of like light ashy blonde / caramel highlights that complement her skin so well. I also really loved I'm a nail polish girl, y'all. I really do love nail polish. I love the nail polish color that she was wearing there. So if anybody knows, like, what is this, like a cappuccino color or something like that, please let me know, because I would absolutely love to know this color. You know who I used to be so obsessed with for nail polish? Olivia Pope in Scandal. One of like my guilty pleasures about that show was the beautiful nail polish that she would be wearing episode after episode, scene after scene. Like, they always have the most beautiful colors for her, and I'm seeing that in Tia. Anyway, you guys, let's get into that slutty party, shall we? So this is a bachelorette party for Jazzy that they were hosting. And again, like it almost made it feel like Jazzy was an honorary housewife, the way that they had so many events for her. it's in the name of the party, by the way, slutty party. So obviously, I'm not going to be able to show you guys too many photos because the girls were in lingerie. They were very revealing, some more than others. I'm sorry to Ashley, and I listen, this is going to sound rude, and maybe it is, but I have to say it anyway. I feel like Ashley tries so hard to be like hot and sexy. And in my opinion, everybody's taste is different, right? But in my opinion, she couldn't be anything further than that. I find her to be very vulgar. I find her to be very desperate. So whenever they have these things, right? And then you've got people like having like very like, different, exciting, cool takes on it, right? So you have Giselle, who was, kind of covered up, but kind of revealing, like, I love this outfit. She looked absolutely amazing. It was creative. It was fun. It wasn't too much. Then you also had Kiarna, who had a really beautiful outfit on. Wendy, she was wearing a lot, but it's not the way that you always see her. You know what I mean? Like, she does different things. Jazzy's outfit was really cute as well. Like, I loved so many of the looks. Stacy was fun. It was like this German, like, with the beer Oktoberfest kind of outfit, like with her boot. Like, she looked good too. Like, so many of the girls looked really good, right? But then you have Ashley always looking as vulgar as possible. That's what I don't like about her. I think if she found a way to tone things down, maybe she could achieve this like sexy image that she wants so bad. But the desperation just always pops out with her. And I feel like she wears cuts and sizes and stuff that do not flatter her. Like, obviously she works hard on her body, but there are certain things that are flattering, certain cuts and styles for her body type, but she'll always go in the opposite direction. And that's something that I just truly do not even understand. But like I said, I cannot show you a lot of what the girls wore to this bachelorette party because the theme was slutty. And boy, were they on theme. So I couldn't show you. Listen, even Angel's outfit was cute, without doing too much, but Ashley always has to take it to the extreme. Like, she is just, I'm sorry, but I find her very gutter butt. Again, I really did love Giselle's outfit here. She looked fantastic. I think this is probably one of the best that I've ever seen Giselle look. So good morning, Chrissy. Nice to see you, and happy Veterans Day to your husband, Gail. Theo says, I don't like any of the newer. What? Even Tia? Okay, listen, the other girls, whatever, throw them back, like recast again. But Tia, seriously, I think she is absolutely crushing it. Theo, would you like to see Jazzy get a flute, or do you think that she is not, she's not up to par? And thank you, Gail. It is a cup that I picked up when I was in Sevilla. Guys, I might be going back to Sevilla for my Christmas vacation. I have to book something, and I think that might be the one that I book. I really loved it, so I would be happy to go back. Shar says, I love her hair too, right? Like, she looks super duper duper good in it. What's the Harlot red? 2 snaps. I'm gonna miss that on that. Shar says, thank you, Ashley's third. Exactly. And the way that she acts with these other girls and stuff, it's like, okay, girl, we get it. You like women too, but calm down. Even in conversation with her mom, when she was talking to her mom about sending her like on and off boyfriend situationship nudes, I'm like, she's such a weirdo. Like, she creeps me out. Like, I'm like, oh, no wonder you wound up with that like weird degenerate. Like, sorry, but you're a degenerate too. Like, you're so weird. Like, why are you talking to your mom about this? And then she did this drag party, and then she invited her uncle and her aunt and her mom. And then she whips out her boobs. I'm like, you're so trashy. Like, I'm sorry. Ashley is just so trashy to me. Theo says, seeing Ashley trying to be exactly, it's off-putting when she tries to be sexy because I just see her as being cute. To me, I just see her as vulgar and cheap. And it's so rude. I'm sorry, but that's just how I see her. It's trucks. She gives me truck stop hooker. Jamie says, that would be such a fun party to have, right? Like, fun, cute, tasteful, like all of the things. It really, really is, right? Char says, my son rarely comments on shows I watch, but he walked by during another episode and loved Ashley's look. How old is your son, Char? Coquin, comme on dit en français. Char says, Tia is growing on me. I love her. I can't believe Theo doesn't like her. I would like to see Jazzy out the door. She is so really? She is a little thirsty, but I like her. And she has actual money. We need money on Potomac. I'm sorry, but that's enough brokies for me. Oh, Mavis. Wow, what a cool name and what a cool haircut. Mavis, you're cool. This is the first time I've seen you, I think. Mavis, where have you been hiding? You were so cool with your cool haircut and your cool name. I love this. Wow. Hang on. I have to load your comment because I went to zoom in on your photo. Give me a second. My computer's being slow, you guys. Y'all know me. Listen, Mavis, if this is your first time here, I get so excited by like people's like photos and stuff. I'm like, wow. I agree with you on Ashley. See, Mavis thinks the same thing. Ashley is a little trashy. Like, not even a little. She's truly trashy and she's weird. She's so weird. She's so creepy. She really was meant to be with her creepy husband. Too bad that, they left each other and they're back on the market to bother other people because those two creeps, or maybe like Karen described them, moldy, mildewy, messy, cut from the same cloth. They deserve each other. And anytime, boo, oh my God, you were truly rocking it. You were so cool. So you guys, listen, I am a little bit of a prude. That is something I will never hide, okay? I do not like these vulgar displays. So when they were doing these bachelorette party things, bending it over, banking each other, making out, or licking each other's throats or whatever, I was spending my whole time like fast forwarding through that stuff, okay? Until we got to the Angel drama. And I'm sorry, y'all, but Angel is such a weirdo. Like, she's always there to bring the vibes down. So we had caught wind earlier in the episode via Stacy that a secret conversation was had in private between Jazzy and Angel about a certain woman that Angel was calling snaggletooth, ugly, all sorts of things, and saying that this woman tried to ruin her family and her life, right? And they assumed that the cameras were down because it was the end of the day. The camera people were away, but I guess they forgot that there were like webcams hitched onto the caddy that they were driving on or whatever, right? And their mics were off and everything. So I guess they assumed that the footage would be unusable, or Jazzy assumed that when she was having this conversation with April. Or Angel. So seeing as they're both wags, to me, it looked like Jazzy was trying to do her solid by letting her know that she had a certain reputation in the wag world of not being a nice girl, right? And so when Angel was having this conversation with Jazzy, it looked like she was having a fun time chatting. She was having so much fun. She was laughing, making fun of this girl. Like, she was having the time of her life during that discussion, right? So how do you go from, ha, 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 she's such a snaggletooth, ha, 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 she's so ugly, ha, 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 her hair is raggedy, all that stuff. You're having a good time making fun of somebody. And then all of a freaking sudden, when we're over here, celebrating the bachelorette party, doing all these bachelorette activities and whatnot, sipping out of penis straws, all of a sudden you're going to bring the vibe down by saying that I have a big mouth. On what planet does the woman who told you something in confidence, without cameras, without microphones, without the other girls to listen to your conversation and really know what she's talking about, how does that equate to her having a big mouth? It just doesn't make any sense, like, it seems like Angel is so desperate to have a sort of conflict or to have a storyline or something like that, like, oh, I'm sorry, but she's such a flop. She really is such a flop. And it's so disappointing because we need a rich woman. We need a married woman on our HOP, and she's both of them. But she had to go ahead and ruin it. So then she decides to spill her own tea by telling all the girls that essentially the woman that they were talking about told her now husband Bobby that while they were dating, Angel was stealing from him about $30K or something like that. His lawyer got involved, his financial advisor got involved, everybody got involved or something like that. But that was not something that Jazzy said in public. That was something that Jazzy told her in private. So why bring that to the group, and why accuse Jazzy of having a big mouth for looking out for you by telling you about this, this girl and whatnot, right? Like, very, very strange behavior. She's so strange. She really is. I do not get it. I gotta be honest with you guys. To me, when I look in her eyes, I see somebody that's just a little bit off. I don't know if it's an emotional thing. I don't know if it's a mental thing, but to me, I see that she's off kilter. And that could be, maybe she doesn't feel aligned with herself. Maybe she doesn't feel fulfilled. Maybe she doesn't feel happy. Maybe there's like other things going on, but like, you could tell, like, and by her behavior as well, that there's something really off about Angel. And again, Wendy had been calling it from the very beginning. She's been saying, we need to stop coddling these grown women and their temper tantrums, right? And who she was talking to or referring to were Angel and her bestie, Kiarna, as well. These two girls, it's no wonder they get along so well. They're both very, very miserable women who will suck the air out of every single room that they enter in. They want to make everything as negative as possible. It's E and your over there to come and ruin every single scene, so that really sucks. And then at the end of this, after bringing the party down, you've got Angel like, okay, well, I'm leaving. Y'all have fun. The party's lovely. Girl, you just ruined the party. What do you mean have fun? And then instead of just going all the way to your house, getting out of the way so the girls can just enjoy the rest of their celebration, she's just standing right outside the window, calling her husband to complain about the situation, So which is it, girl? Like she's just, she's too much. And again, I'm really, really disappointed because I wanted to like her. And at first I was excited. And on top of that, she's a plus size housewife. Like typically on these housewife shows, the girls are so skinny mini and whatnot, So to have somebody to be so voluptuous and whatnot, like that is groundbreaking in the housewives world, So I really wanted her to stay for that other representation as well, and to show that, even if you are a curvier woman and whatnot, you can still bag yourself, like a nice rich man. She got herself a pro athlete, sending her thousands upon thousands to go spend however she wants. Like, yes, show us that life, And I don't see her staying because all the girls collectively packed her up. They truly did. You see Wendy saying it again. Listen, I told y'all at the beginning, we need to end this. I'm not coddling this woman. This woman is miserable every time. She's always looking to cause a scene. She's always looking to whine about something, cry about something, walk away. Like, I'm over it. Then you had Ashley agreeing with it. You had Giselle agreeing with it. You had Tia agreeing with it. All of the girls agreed. So to me, it looked like the girls collectively fired Angel. So I don't know, like, I don't know how much longer we're going to be seeing this woman for, but I don't think it's going to be long, to be honest with you. Maybe they're going to very greatly diminish the rest of her scenes in this season, at the very least. But one thing I know for sure, or at least 90% sure, I'm 90% sure, is that she's not coming back for another season. Wendy is saying, listen, she's trying not to break the fourth wall, but she's breaking the fourth wall. She's like, I don't know how to interact with this girl. Like, she wants to be in this group, but in this group, this is what we do. She's talking about the show. You know what I mean? So I thought that was absolutely incredible. Kahara says, Angel said on Watch What Happens Live. Oh yeah, that's true. She was there last night. I haven't gotten to watch it yet. But I'm going to be listening to the podcast episode as I put together the channel member video about the Ashley's book. So thank you. Kahara says, Angel said on Watch What Happens Live that she thought Jesse told Wendy. So when Wendy brought it up, that's why she snapped. So that's why she felt like she was being set up. She didn't realize that she was having that conversation right in front of Wendy, right? With Wendy's back to her. Stacey was there as well. Okay. It makes a little bit more sense, but at the same time, she's just so miserable. She's just so freaking miserable. And this is the third, maybe fourth time that we've seen her suck the air out of her room. And at this point, the girls are done. They've had it with you. I've heard from a lot of people, you let me know, Kahara, if you felt the same way, but I heard from a couple of people who watched What Happens Live that they kind of felt like she's had that same kind of like droopy, like Debbie Downer energy again, and that they just find her to be generally off-putting, which, it sucks. But again, some people just do not have good personalities, especially not for television. I do wonder how she ultimately wound up getting cast, like, given the scenes that she filmed with the girls, like kind of like how, what was the name? Monique with a Y, how she was auditioning to be a housewife when she got packed up by Candy, Phaedra, Kenya, and I think Nene and Portia as well. Like, that was so humiliating for her. But that was a screen test. Like, why couldn't this have been a screen test for Angel and then she gets dismissed? How did she end up with a flute at the end of this? Anyway, listen, y'all. These are just some questions. These are just some theories. These are just some whatnots that I have about the show thus far. Anyway, like I said, we've come to the end of our recap of what went down on last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac. I had the greatest time talking about it with you all. Now, I do have to prepare because tomorrow I'm doing another dinner party, but this time it's going to be raclette that I'm having some friends over for. Tomorrow is un jour férié, which means it's an off day for people. Except me. I will be working tomorrow, y'all. I'll be here for the morning report, but the French, they don't work tomorrow. And so, I decided why not invite some friends to come over in the evening so we can have some raclette together. So it's potatoes, it's cheese, good French cheese, and some Swiss cheese, and meat together on this like a beautiful pan thing. So yeah, I'll be having some footage and photos of that for you guys as well on the gram. Anyway, you guys, thanks so much for joining me. Shout out to my playback posse as well. If you enjoyed the playback of today's episode of the Morning Report and today's recap in general. I think I'm forgetting something else. Shout out to you guys who are watching me in different formats, whether it's landscape, whether it's vertical. Super cool to be able to do those both at the same time for you guys. And I'm hoping to continue on with this. If you enjoyed today's episode of the Morning Report, please don't forget to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so YouTube knows you enjoy my content. And I'll see you again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with more of the day's hottest stories. On the way out, here's a word from some of our sponsors, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.
The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running.
Tired of learning languages in boring, frustrating ways? Try TalkPal. TalkPal is your personal AI language tutor. It teaches you languages in fun, engaging ways. It gives you real-time feedback, assesses your pronunciation, and the learning process is personalized just for you. Join millions of other learners and start your language learning journey today.